Hello, everyone. I recommend that you listen to this entire channeled reading with Ben. Ben is such an old soul, and I just knew he gave me permission right away to connect with his energy because I felt his higher self already speaking to me even before I printed out this email from his human guardian. And Ben has revealed some information about his past life and how he was involved in that life with his human. And it's quite fascinating. And yes, we do reincarnate many lifetimes with our pets because they want to teach us something and they want to see us grow. Let's get into the email from Ben's human guardian. And it goes, "Hi, Mari. This is Ben. He's still here with us on Earth. He rescued me at a really difficult time in my life, and he's the best thing that's ever happened to me. He's a very special little guy. He has a very rare urinary issue, which causes him to pee when he's in a deep sleep. His back legs are also a little funny. He doesn't have full control over them, and his claws don't retract, so he can be a bit clumsy. He is very loving. He sees through my soul. He knows when I'm sad or hurt. He doesn't meow much, but he communicates through his eyes and his paws. I don't know much about his life before me, only that he was surrendered by his owner, who went into substance abuse treatment. We have a very deep love for each other. He regulates my nervous system when I pet him." And I could see that within Ben. His eyes is just full of things that he wants to share. And like I said, I already have permission from Ben's higher self. And even before I pulled out the cards and hit the record button, I connected with his conscious self also, and I got a yes to connect with their energy and channel messages for his human, but also for you. They do want to start with the email, just going through it because there's so much in here that would fascinate you in your connection with your pet. And when I say they, I mean the spirit world. So his human guardian spirit guide is coming in and wanting to speak about this because this spirit guide is definitely more qualified and has more experience and quote unquote training in the spirit world to explain all this to us. And I'll continue throughout this reading to distinguish which message is coming from whom. Let's first get into, and I'm just allowing the spirit guide to direct my eyes and scan the email. He rescued me at a really difficult time in my life. And oftentimes, that's what the creatures in our lives do. And they really want to help us overcome things or be the support system that a human cannot provide. And as I channeled that, there were some hammering noises outside where the construction is happening. So if you hear knocking noises or hammering noises, it's spirit's way of saying yes, a double yes to what was just being channeled, and see how that channel message in that moment may apply to your relationship, to your creature. Ben's higher self here is stepping in and saying, actually, my human and I made a contract with each other in a past life, and before we were both born into this world, that we would help each other, that we would rescue each other. And he's going to go on to some other things here. There is that thing about the urinary issue, and I feel that is very much connected to a past life that Ben has experienced. There's some unhealed trauma there combined with something he experienced before he met his current human, and that is just coming all to the surface, is being manifested in those ways. And the same thing happens to our own human bodies too. Anything that's unprocessed, repressed emotions, or unhealed blocks do manifest as discomforts in the body. I'm getting the sense from Ben he doesn't want to get too much into that, because he wants to focus the messages that he wants to give to his human and to us. But he did just want to mention that, and be aware also of blocks within your own body, or discomforts or issues within your own body that is wanting to tell you something that's unhealed. I do recommend, and Ben is also saying, go back and listen to the Healing the Body series in the Patreon community there, because there is a meditation there on healing the urinary system. And going on, okay. Actually, Ben does want to mention something, one more, about the urinary issue, because it only occurs when he's in deep sleep. And many things. One is physically he's relaxed, so the urinary system does its thing. But there's something that happened in Ben's past life where he was in deep sleep and something happened to him, and that memory is in his soul. And it was so terrifying for him that it has manifested as that, the urinary issue. So just a bit of an insight there, how past life experiences could manifest as issues in the body. Going on, he's saying, his back legs are also a little funny. He doesn't have full control over them, and his claws don't retract, so he can be a bit clumsy. And there's a smiley face that his owner inserted there after that sentence. Ben is saying he came back into this world as a cat, but also with those quote unquote clumsy aspects of himself, because he wanted to teach his human guardian, but also he wants to say to us, he wants to teach us about imperfection, and it's okay. There's some quirkiness and cuteness to it, and can you embrace that without being self-conscious? And as I'm channeling that, the hammering went really loud outside. So Ben is here to teach all of us, how can you fully embrace yourself without judging yourself all the time, without picking at yourself like that? And Ben's conscious self is stepping in here and saying, yes, I'm aware of my clumsiness and I'm a little bit different, but I'm okay with that. And there's this acceptance. And I feel that is a virtue that Ben is here to learn and close to completing in this lifetime. And he also wants his owner, but all of us, to see that too. How can we practice this acceptance in our day-to-day life and towards ourselves and to others? There's something Ben's higher self is saying about his claws not retracting. Again, it's related to that past life where something happened to him in his deep sleep, and he feels like he wasn't on guard enough and therefore needs to be on guard all the time. So physical manifestation of that trauma in this lifetime are his claws just not retracting. Fascinating, isn't it? And there are aspects of you that are still on guard, still hyper vigilant, and the nervous system needs to relax a bit. Know that, or teach the body what it feels like to be safe and when to be on guard, because there's some hypervigilance that's happening here in the nervous system. And we'll see how Ben wants to talk about that. Oh, actually, the spirit guide took my eyes to the very bottom of the email, where in the last line, she says, he regulates my nervous system when I pet him. So that's another soul contract that Ben is here to offer and to complete. It's to soothe and regulate. the nervous system, he's saying. I paused it there because I was being shown something else at the same time, which was another past life where him and his human were together. And I got a sense that Ben was more of a teacher, mentor, and his human was like a student. And Ben is telling me that he regrets not fully being there and looking after, protecting, and offering what she needed at that time, because he just feels that he failed her. That's his past life soul speaking right now. Ben's past life soul is saying, I feel like I failed my human in that lifetime, and I'm here to really make up for it. And I also realize, says Ben, that in order to fully support my human, I needed to come back not as a human being, but as a creature, because then I could fully communicate and teach her things that I couldn't get to teach her in that lifetime. And I need to do that in the form of a cat. So if you're wondering why some creatures or some souls come back as creatures, that could be one of the reasons. There are many other reasons, of course, but that I found to be the common reason why some souls want to come back and meet the souls again, because they feel they could be of better service in a different physical form. And she goes on to say, he is very loving. He sees through my soul, and I could see that in his eyes. I feel that Ben is one of the very few pets that I have done readings and sessions with who are very, very, very much an old soul. Ben has gone through many, many reincarnations. He's seen a lot. And in this lifetime, he's also seen a lot because his previous owner had to go into substance abuse treatment. And I get a sense that Ben is very much a healer. He wants to heal and assist humanity, but he has to do it in the physical form of a cat and speak through his eyes and through his cues, the way he shows affection. And that's why he says, I don't meow much. And his human guardian does mention that. Okay, so spirit guide and Ben's higher self, what else do you want me to address in this email? No, I'm just hearing, we're just happy to be here and channeling this for everyone. Let's get into the cards then. The first set of cards speak of the energy that is coming in. And Ben's higher self is saying, just read out the cards. Prosperity lies ahead. It's time to release negativity and step out of your comfort zone. I feel like these cards may have come out previously from the other pets. And if you have noticed that pattern, go back to that pet reading, because pets do like to team up and build off of each other's guidance. And I've always attached the cards that have come out, a picture of it, to that pet reading. So look at the cards first. If it resonates, then go and listen to the entire reading. Prosperity lies ahead. Ben is saying that this, most of it, 90% of it, refers to a prosperity of spiritual growth and wisdom that is building up within you. And that is going to allow you to know what you want to do next. So you really get to know yourself, and you know what you need to do next. You know which direction you need to go, and there's clarity coming in. And Ben's conscious self is stepping in here and saying, yes, and that's why I'm here to regulate your nervous system. So pet me as much as you need. And that will allow you to really drop in to the core of your soul and really know what is it that's needing to be done and which direction do you need to go. As this really strange energy in the world is slowly coming to a close, because we are still in the Mercury retrograde and in the Venus retrograde phase here, take an advantage of that. We have another week of it left, I believe, and release that negative energy. That's the next card, wasn't it? It's time to release negativity. What kind of fears are still holding you back? And the other cards may speak about that. And when you do release the negativity, drop down into the core of your soul and have a sense of clarity come into you, you're going to step out of your comfort zone. And that is one of the contracts that Ben has with you, is to teach you how to do that by physically regulating the nervous system and also spiritually just connecting with Ben. You could just sit with Ben in your arms or on your lap and just for a few minutes breathe and see what sort of communication could magically start between you and Ben's soul, because there might be some gentle guidance coming in. And on top of Ben's guidance, your spirit guides may add a layer to that message, and you'll feel it within your heart. So your spirit guide was stepping in, so I had to clear my throat. The spirit guide is saying that there will be signs from the spirit world that would confirm what you picked up in that moment of sitting quietly with Ben and your spirit guide, of course. I was directed to pull out some cards from this other deck that references the signs from the spirit world you need to look out for. So we'll get into that, but we do need to get through 3 other piles of cards first. Now you know the energy that's coming. So during that time, what are you learning, and what's in both your contract and Ben's contract to learn together? I'm hearing from Ben's soul say that he is really here to help you learn these lessons. And as I was channeling that, there were loud hammering outside. So pay attention if you feel like these cards resonate with you. He's saying, Mari, read it out, please. Blessings, happiness, and protection. Blessings. And I love the flowers on this card because it reminds me of the cherry blossoms that are in full, beautiful bloom right now. The blessings card. So which one? Conscious self or higher self wanting to come through? Higher self wanting to come through. Ben's higher self is saying, I'm here to teach you about blessings. So Ben's higher self, and also his human spirit guide. What do you both want to say about that? That there are a lot of it that's going to come, and it refers to the first card, prosperity lies ahead. I do feel there are these portals or opportunities that are going to come your way, and it's up to you, because we all have free will, the law of free will, and you can choose which blessing or opportunity you want to explore. And when those opportunities do come, Ben's asking you, check in with yourself. Are you saying no to it out of fear? And do you want to do that? And just take a moment to pause and think, what would a no result will look like? If I say yes to it, what would the result of that look like? Which one would I feel okay with in the end, whichever decision I make? This is ancestral because all of a sudden I saw the DNA helix pop up in my mind's eye. There's something in your ancestral belief system that's deeply embedded in your DNA. And these are all negative beliefs about how to navigate through life. That is actually feeding into your fear and the way you're making decisions in your life. So look at that. This applies to all of us, says Ben's higher self. And so look into that. What are perhaps the beliefs that really stand out to you in your family line that's been passed down to you? What has been even the pattern in your family of doing things over and over, but it's not really moving anyone forward in that lineage. And that observation in itself of seeing, okay, I see the pattern, it hasn't worked out for me or my ancestors, that realization there is a blessing, isn't it? Because you get to see the pattern that needs to be broken. And I'm hearing Ben's higher self say, I will guide you in that and how to navigate through that. And I know the protection card is a third card that have come out, but Ben wants to jump to that card. How is he going to help you through navigating all these reflections and thoughts and connecting of the dots in your mind through protection, which is his way of giving protection, that is regulating your nervous system. I find that the tree, the way that I see the energy running through the tree, it's very much like the nervous system in our body. And there you go, the most loudest hammering noise outside. Pay attention to this message here. You chose a great time, Ben, to channel this message. So it's so important to do that. We often make decisions based on how we feel and also how the state of our nervous system is. If we are in survival mode or fight or flight mode, we may not make the best decision. So before you make that final call to do something, take a few deep breaths, check into yourself, and give yourself a few minutes or even overnight to get back to someone with a response or to make a decision, says Ben. Okay, thank you. That was for all of us. And Ben saying it's very important to do that because of the weird energy right now in the world. And if you are listening to this in the future, then the energy is probably weird in that future time, and you're probably needing Ben's soothing and wise guidance again. And that is fine, says Ben. He's happy to be available to anyone through his energy in this recording. Ben is also giving you a sense of protection that your inner child has been craving and probably has not been able to experience fully physically in the body. And so do have all the cuddles, right? Limitless cuddles, says Ben. Which reminds me of the cuddle card that I won from the Bunny Cafe. But that's limited to 9 visits. But with Ben, you get all the cuddles you want. And I heard Ben say lifetime of cuddles. So he said he'll just send you this entire lifetime of love to you. Let's go back to that second card because we did the blessings card. That was the first card. And then we went to the protection card, the last card. So the card in the middle, it's about happiness. With a combination of the blessings, the messages that were part of that card, and the messages in protection, I feel like those two will balance some sort of an energy within you and within some of us, I'm hearing, that's going to bring in a sense of peace, roundedness, and then it's going to call in this new definition of happiness. And that's all that he wants to say. Ben is saying it will be a surprise. And in the happiness card, there are 2 dolphins there. And dolphins to me represent joy and play. And that inner child within you is really wanting to connect with that. And I do feel that once Ben regulates your nervous system at the physical body, then his soul wants to encourage you to step out of your comfort zone. Remember that card. And be adventurous and tap in to that joy and play through that adventure, however that manifests for you. Dolphins represent that joy and play. If dolphins somehow present themselves to you as a sign, from spirit, then that's Ben's soul reminding you you're forgetting to play. Tap into that inner child. What does that inner child want to do, and how do they want to play? And this card in particular, when the happiness cards come out, those two dolphins that represent to me a very much deeper level of a soulmate, the kind of soulmates that have reincarnated over and over just many, many times together, in that they're very much in partnership in evolving, helping each other evolve. So when that happiness card comes out, it does signify that there's a very deep, deep level of soul connection there. Let's move these cards over and make room for these cards, which have come out for the first time within this animal reading. This is from my Shaman Oracle deck. I haven't looked at these cards at all, but I had a feeling that Ben was very much a shaman or some kind of a healer in a former lifetime, because the first card that had come out from this deck is the Mystical Shaman. This speaks about many things. One is Ben has been a shaman, like he mentioned, a teacher or a mentor to his human, but there's more of this magic and mysticism that he wants to show you. How amazing is that? And he wants to show about, or teach you about, how to connect deeply with yourself, and allowing that to become then an opening, a portal for spirit to then connect with you, like a plug for spirit to connect with you. I do feel that Ben wants to show you how to just drop down and regulate your nervous system and be still, and allow those instant downloads or divine inspirations, as I like to call them, to come in, and really, really trust what you get from the spirit world. So trust is a big, big virtue that Ben wants to teach you, but something Ben also wants to learn with you in this lifetime. The Mystical Shaman, I do feel that you will be curious about the spirit world, or some sort of a journeying style in the spirit world that's very shamanistic. And there's this intrigue of wanting to learn the whole mystery behind the cosmos. And I do feel this needing to learn about the mystery, or I'm hearing mystery school. And that's going to open up for you, however way that Ben's soul and your spirit guide wants to lead you down that beautiful path there. But there is some spiritual growth happening, this curiosity of, I want to know how this world works. How can I access it? The next card is the Hummingbird. And the hummingbird often represents joy and ancestors. I do feel that Ben's higher self and the spirit guide has spoken about this, which is tuning into that inner child. What are they needing? And once we tune in and give what the inner child or inner children needs, we could then express joy a little more and be a little more playful. I do feel that there's some movement that's needed in the body. Maybe it's just having a random dance party all by yourself. Ben's higher soul is saying, I'm happy to be the DJ. And just release, right? Any pent up energy. There's something that's an energy that is very rigid in the body, and that's needing to be released. And once that's released, it's like this opening for joy to expand out from the heart center is going to start to happen. However you want to release that energy, I like to leave it to you. For me, it's trail running through the woods, because that's what I like to do as a child. Just play in the woods. The moon. And this often refers to the divine feminine energy within you, right? It's about intuition. So that makes sense with what the card Mystical Shaman was speaking about. There you go, a double yes from the spirit world with the hammering noise outside. And that's like what your spirit guide was saying. It's very much divine feminine. It's all about intuition, nurturing, creativity, and flow. But that flow cannot happen if the nervous system is a little too wired up and the physical body is too rigid. So do those movements, free yourself. And I keep hearing that freedom, liberation, free yourself. And that's what the soul is very much desiring to do. I do get a sense that, and if this resonates with anyone else here, which is wonderful, because Ben is saying it applies to a lot of us, where our soul wants this feeling of freedom that's free from self-judgment, self-criticism, and this level of self-awareness, knowing how to balance how you feel about yourself and based on how the world sees you. And being able to balance those two worlds within you, but still be yourself, your authentic, genuine self. And once you find that balance, you'll go into that beautiful flow, that divine feminine flow of intuition, creativity, and this deep connection to how the universe flows in certain cycles, because the moon has their own cycles, don't they? There might be some moon magic that you might want to look into that's going to allow you to connect to the earthly cycles, but also the celestial cycles also, and how the spirit world plays with that, and how your physical body and the emotional body and the spiritual aspect of you also responds to those cycles. Whew, I knew Ben had a lot to say and very deep stuff to say, and I am sweating a lot. All right, Ben says, let's move on to the other cards here. And we're getting into, again, tarot decks that have not come out in the other animal readings. And this is my gemstone and plant medicine cards. The first card, or before actually I get into this, I use these cards, or my spirit guide has taught me to use these cards when they want to speak about which energy centers within you are blocked and what are the gemstones or perhaps the plants that could assist you. You don't have to get these gemstones, you don't have to get these plants or consume them at all. Even just the pictures of these cards is enough to flow out their healing frequencies to you. So just know that. The first card is this beautiful green gemstone called Instatite, and the plant is Polylepis or Polylepis. And you notice that it's all green on that card. What does that mean? It means that there's something in the heart center that needs some soothing. Do take some time to drop into the heart center and go, what is it that it wants to say right now? What am I feeling? Anything I could do to soothe it or boost its energy there. And simply by tuning in to your body and the energy there, you're actually exercising your intuition each time. And you're going to start to learn how to trust it. And there you go. The T word came up again, right? Trust. Being able to trust what the body is doing, saying, communicating, and being able to trust yourself in how to respond to those needs or requests or communications from the body and the soul. The other card is rhodochrosite and fir. Fir is a tree, and again, I'm feeling a really deep connection between this card and the protection card, because the protection card had a tree on it, didn't it? And fir is a wonderful tree. There's something again about regulating the nervous system, not just through Ben's beautiful healing energy, but other ways. And I'm feeling that the spirit guides are going to direct you in that direction. What are the other methods that you can use to heal your nervous system. With a rhodochrosite, trying to look at the color here, I'm seeing this as almost like a coral pink color in many ways. And that's how Spirit is showing it to me. There's, okay, this coral pink color goes back to the heart center. And in a lot of energy charts, the heart chakra is often represented as green. But for me, I see it both as green and pink, and coral being that, I would say, form of pink. That tells me that there's some self-love that is starting to come through, how to take care of yourself. And of course, one of the ways to take care of yourself is one of the things that Ben has been suggesting and telling all of us to do is to connect, tune into our bodies, right? And the more you do that, the more that pink energy will glow and expand. For me, when it's a pale pink, it means gentle self-awareness, gentle self-care coming in, being gentle towards yourself is the key. But this one is more of a fierce pink, isn't it? It's coral pink. And at least that's what Spirit is showing me with my physical eyes, more of a coral pink. And so you need that more that fierce energy to focus on yourself. So how do you do that? However ways you want to practice tuning into your body and your soul, however ways you want to connect with Ben, sitting with him, petting him. Spirit guides are reminding all of us and saying a cat's purr is extremely healing. It has a healing vibration to it. I feel like everyone reached for their cat and started petting them like crazy. They're okay with that as long as there's no static, says one cat. And that's someone else's cat who just chimed in. Okay, so allowing Ben's energy to fully step into my energy field now, because that one cat just wanted to make that comment. The other energy center that is currently being healed and that Ben is assisting you in healing is the throat chakra. And that is represented by the eucalyptus and the asphodel plant here. And with that throat, I'm seeing various inner children within you that is a little sad and grieving that they didn't get to speak or ask for things they needed, or feeling like they had to repress. So all of a sudden my throat went really dry, like they couldn't speak because they couldn't process things, or an adult didn't fully teach them in a healthy way how to feel through the energy within them and how to appropriately put healthy labels or words on what they were feeling or what they were going through. And there's that disconnect there, the mental and the physical disconnect that some of the inner children are feeling and don't know how to communicate that, don't know that there is a disconnect, perhaps, says Ben. So Ben is also there to heal the throat there. There are some words that were not spoken and that your younger selves are regretting that they should have spoken. And when we have those regrets, those words, those unspoken words, the energy of them, they do linger in our throats and they create issues like thyroid and perhaps dry throat or constant coughing, or even colds that seem to start right at the throat for you. I'm gonna need to take a sip of my coffee here because I could really feel the energy that's stuck in the throat collectively in our community. All right. Ooh, this coffee tastes really good. I find that coffee tastes really good when I'm channeling spirit. Okay, thank you. Ben's higher self is coming in and saying, go and eat your favorite foods, because it could heal parts of that inner children and they might feel encouraged to step out and talk to you more, communicate and say what they really want to say to you. Because food does open up memories within the body. As an example, a quick example here, I gave my Persian friend the saffron, rose, cardamom, chia pudding I made that some of you saw on the post here on my Instagram or in Patreon community. And she loves saffron. As a Persian, it's part of her culture to use saffron in their cooking. And I just gave it to her just to see what she thought of it. And she sent me a voice message saying it opened up so many memories with her when she used to be in Iran. And it took her back to the time she was with her grandmother. So that's how powerful food is. It could bring back memories, like really good memories that are comforting. And when we tap into that comforting childhood memories, your inner children are feeling another layer of safety, and they may want to step in and say, okay, there's this layer of trust building up here between me and my adult self, because this food is making me feel good. I feel that the fact that the adult self gave me this, I feel like she's listening to me, and therefore I feel like I could step out a little bit more from the shadows. However, food wants to come into your life, and however you want to build that relationship to food, we're doing that now. The other meditation here in our community. So however that evolves for you, I like your spirit guide and Ben and everyone else's creatures to show you how to navigate through that journey. Ben wants to go into the cards that speak about the signs from the spirit world. The first one is ocean, and it speaks about distance and journey. In regards to the distance aspect of this sign, when you see an ocean, it could be your inner children saying, I feel like there's a distance between your adult self and us. How can we bridge that gap? Right? And again, it goes back to beginning first with physically regulating the nervous system, breathing, becoming still. I do that myself before channeling. And then those divine inspirations or guidance from spirit will come in and let you know this is what you need to do to close that distance between you and your inner children. Oh, and I'm not sure if the microphone caught that, but when I said it will close the distance between you and your inner children, one of the workers outside started to whistle. So there's some happy results to come when you do close that distance between you and your inner children. And that involves healing, that involves listening to them, that involves eating those foods that guided you as a child. The journey, there's a new spiritual cycle that's coming up for you. And your current spiritual cycle is closing. It's coming to a close right now. So just allow that to slowly come to a close. And then this next adventure will open up for you. If you are seeing oceans continuously, like back to back, or you hear nothing about oceans, or you hear someone talk about the sea, or you see a map, no pun intended there, you see a map, and there's an ocean on it. And interesting enough, even my name, Mari, it's a Japanese name, but in Latin, my name, Mari, means ocean also. So however the word ocean may appear for you, you may meet someone else from a different cultural background whose name is ocean in their language. So ocean is a wonderful, wonderful sign that there is progress and there are new adventures coming, and that it is a safe adventure, says Ben. The other sign is a gate, and I know there are gates everywhere, but if there's a particular gate that stands out for you, for example, you're looking at a magazine about gardening and there is a gate there that looks very magical, kind of reminds you of the novel, The Secret Garden. It means opportunities coming. Interesting. They mention about opportunities and blessings coming, right? When you see a gate or a beautiful gate really stands out to you, there's a portal opening for you to walk through and start your new adventure. The other part about the gate is home. And you might be moving into a new home or might be considering, what does home really mean for you? And this goes back to your inner children, because maybe they need to redefine what home is, because their understanding of home is based on what the culture says is home, or what should a home look, be, and feel like what magazines show us, right? Don't believe in what you see in magazines, says someone else's spirit guide here. So what is home to you? And do you want to redefine it? So every time a gate shows up, it's an invitation for you to ask yourself, did something happen in my day that triggered me or didn't sit well with me, and somehow it's related to my trauma or something uncomfortable that happened related to home or the feeling of being at home? The other layer to this is Ben is wanting to teach you how to be at home within your own body. So how beautiful. So when you see a gate, you might just need to run back home and cuddle with Ben. And for the rest of us, run back home and cuddle with our creatures. The other thing here, the eye. So if you see an eye, and I've been seeing the symbol of the eye in the Middle Eastern culture, where you hang that talisman, right? The eye, to ward off negative energy. When you see an eye, speaks about envy and protection. So the word protection came out twice, didn't it? And as I'm speaking about protection, I'm just hearing the workers outside whistling, which tells me that it's going to be a breeze. It's not something that you personally need to worry about. The spirit guides got it for you. If you do need to feel you need to give yourself that layer of protection, maybe it's carrying that gemstone, or to protect your own energy, saying no to an invitation, then do that. Do what you feel like you need to do. But in terms of energetic protection and the other aspects of it, the spirit guides are whistling and saying, oh, we got it. They got it. Don't worry. It's a breeze for us. It's a joy for us to do this for you and for humans in general. The envy part here is, where is your inner child or your inner children envious, perhaps, of what other children got to experience, or envious of other people's experience? Because when we admire or are envious of other people, there's that part of that person or that experience that they've had that we desire to also experience, and that it is possible, because there are blessings coming your way, and also loads of protection that's around you for you to be able to experience things that your heart does desire, that your soul truly needs to experience to continue evolving. And it will also help to heal the inner children. So that is all I believe. Let's see. Let me just tune into the spirit guide. Did you say everything? Yes. But they just want to emphasize that you are protected and not to worry. Let me tune in to Ben's higher self. And he's saying he said everything he wanted to say. Ben's conscious self is saying, yep, I'm good. And there's that third aspect, right, that I talked about, Ben's soul. And that was where his past life part stepped forward. I just need to see if they said everything they needed to say. And I'm hearing also a yes. Thank you to all those aspects of Ben. Thank you to the spirit guide. And thank you for sticking around this long. It's almost 50 minutes. I didn't realize that. Time goes by very fast when channeling spirit. I hope you enjoyed the messages here. And I send you many blessings and protection to come your way. Have a good day, everyone.